See, there's a little notification here. Continue. All right. Oh, thanks. think I can actually improve the sound even more if I click this. Okay, you can tell me afterwards whether that helps. One more here. Thank you. How are we doing? You want one more? Would you like one more? Yeah? You can turn me
Please.
off whenever.
Please, it'll take us a couple of minutes to get everyone in the room, so we really appreciate your
Oh, sure.
presence.
Okay.
Thank you.
And feel free to turn me down whenever you need to.
I don't have that level of control, but we're grateful that you're able to share this music with us. It's a great way to
Oh,
enter in.
thank you. It's a pleasure. Oh, well. I'll do one more Chopin prelude.
Thank you so much. I think we'll go ahead and start. It was wonderful.
You're welcome.
Perfect.
My pleasure.
Yes, thank you.
Great.
Okay. I think we'll go ahead and start. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Thank you, Will, for continuing to admit people and set up the whole the whole Zoom thing for us. And thank you to my partner in this project, Gloria Sunshine, who picked this day. That's May 24th. It's very special to me. And Ruth Ahearn for keeping track of every single thing possible. We are so happy that all 87 or so of you could join us today for our Sisterhood Brotherhood event in this 2021 year of COVID, racial reckoning, a year that has challenged us in so many ways to explore what sisterhood and brotherhood really means. This year, rather than sharing a meal, which we usually do, or listening to speakers, the Interfaith Council of Rossmoor has chosen to focus on the question, how do we create caring community? And to honor those who, especially in this last year, and for many years, have shown us how to do that. This year, you are the program. Even if you aren't being recognized directly today, we are so grateful for all your community building and inspiration and efforts. The ideal of sisterhood and brotherhood has existed at the heart of world religions for centuries. In our own society, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King referred to a beloved community, described by the King Society this way: a global vision in which all people can share the wealth of the earth. In the beloved community, poverty, hunger, and homelessness will not be tolerated because the international standards of decency will not allow it. Racism and all forms of discrimination, bigotry, and prejudice will be replaced by an all-inclusive spirit of sisterhood and brotherhood. Reverend King said, "This will require a qualitative change in our souls and a quantitative change in our lives." What is that quantitative change? Mayor Baba called it creating a new humanity. 2020 and 2021 shone a light on inequities of every kind, as well as the deep divisions about resolving them in our country. But it has also been a year of inspiration, from people singing to each other from balconies in Italy or creating bingo games on balconies in Rossmoor. The Interfaith Council of Rossmoor wants to heighten our awareness of what creating caring community looks like. That's why we are devoting our whole event to honoring people and organizations who reached out to support others in innovative, compassionate ways, not just this year, but in other years. Today's program will have 3 parts. First, I will share very briefly about the community building in the Interfaith Council of Rossmoor. Then we will hear about our honorees. And in the third part of the event, if we finish that, we hope to have breakout discussion groups. So now the Interfaith Council of Rossmoor is actually the oldest in the East Bay, and we have hosted some of the biggest events just like today. We have, 87 people here by Zoom. So first I'll tell you about our Diversity Consciousness Committee, which tries to build a multicultural community in Rossmoor by increasing opportunities for cross-cultural exchange and collaboration with the diverse communities within Rossmoor. There's some of their projects cooperating with RAD, which is the organization Residents Advocating Diversity, and our Rossmoor Recreation Department, we have them here today, to create a Harmony Fair in October to celebrate diversity. Another, sharing stories of individuals from diverse cultural backgrounds who've chosen to live in Rossmoor. Continuing to add photos and stories of diverse Rossmoor residents in the Rossmoor News, Rossmoor website, and Channel 28. To support cross-cultural events sponsored by clubs in Rossmoor, the Dragon Boat Festival from the Chinese American Club, Black Lives Matter demonstrations, African American and Friends Club, and to expand the membership of the Diversity Consciousness Committee. So all of you are welcome to come to our meetings and learn about it. Now, the Big Questions Committee provides a forum where people from different spiritual paths can address life's most important questions together. Sally Nordwall isn't getting in. They host spokesmen from many different faiths perspectives to answer life's big questions. Why is there suffering? Is there consciousness or life after death? What, where, who is God? What is the relationship between science and religion? What is the purpose of life? That's this year's questions. The Big Questions Forum has given 44 workshops with speakers from 23 different spiritual groups. Then there's the Compassionate Listening Events Committee, who have devoted themselves, some like Bob Powell, for years and years, to teach the vital skill of unifying with others simply by listening, and especially listening with our hearts. An estimated 100 to 120 Rossmoor residents have participated in 5 workshops since 2019. These groups are always widening their circles and reimagining what they do. We invite you to come to join us at our meetings the second Monday of the month at 2 and help us build communities in new ways. And now for this year's special awards, recognizing those who have nurtured and cared and protected and fought for all in this 2021 COVID year and racial reckoning year. Because we want you to have time to share today. This is a little like the Academy Awards. I'll ask the nominators to talk about 2 minutes. And those of you being honored, please feel free to, if you want to share for about the same length of time, 2 minutes. Gloria Sunshine, my co-collaborator, has offered, as they do at the Academy Awards, to ring her lovely little bell. I need to move on to the next person. Anyway, so we should go ahead and start. And up on the screen, you'll see who the nominees are, who the people are being nominated, and what the category is of our Academy Awards. The first one is Gwen McCauley honoring Tim O'Keefe. Gwen, are you unmuted?
Yes, I am.
Yay, great.
Shall I start?
Please.
Okay. Well, it is my joy and privilege to nominate Tim O'Keefe, the current CEO of Rossmoor, for his compassionate, astute leadership during the pandemic. My husband, Bruce McCauley, and I have lived here in Rossmoor for 35 years. We've seen numerous CEOs come and go, but none were as professional as Tim O'Keefe. If you ask him what he is, he will tell you he is like a mayor, fulfilling the many tasks in such a position. But during the pandemic, he has been so much more. He has been whatever was called for, a stabilizer, a comforter, a peacemaker, and more. What he's given to us is far greater than what he signed up for. He kept in very close touch with the COVID-related regulations of Contra Costa County and set rules for our greater health and safety, including strongly pushing for convenient vaccination centers. He found unselfish, creative ways to keep most of the huge Rossmoor staff on the payroll, ensuring their financial stability and keeping our community in shape, which helped us keep our morale in shape. He encouraged every function under his jurisdiction, from the recreation department to the Rossmoor News, to our sporting facilities, to plan programs and activities that would uplift our spirits and keep us from going bonkers during the isolation. No one has touched each one of us directly or indirectly more than Tim O'Keefe. If he is our mayor, he will never be recalled, but we will re-elect him to another fruitful term.
Yay. Wonderful. Okay, Dottie Pritchett.
Is Tim going to respond?
Isn't Tim
Oh,
responding?
no, Tim is responding. Thank you, Tim. Where are you, Tim?
I'm right here. Wow, Gwen, that is, I'll tell you, when Susie contacted me a few weeks ago and asked me if I would speak at this event and didn't really give me the details of what this was for, she said that we wanted to honor some people who've really stepped up during COVID. And I said, I would love to do that. I would be happy to. And I had the time available on my calendar. And then I think a week or two ago, she said, I'm going to further clarify why we're asking you to come. And I said, well, okay, why? Didn't you need me to speak? And she said, well, actually, it's you we want to honor. I'm touched. This has been the most difficult year of my life. I'm sure it has for many of you. The challenge is every single day to try to think of ways to keep our community safe, and knowing that through that gate passes thousands of cars every day, and the risk of bringing that virus into this valley was at our foremost thoughts. I'm not exaggerating, every single minute of every single day for the last 15 months. And honestly, you know, the contact that I've had with residents over the last 15 months has been almost all negative. There's been people who've been very upset, people have been very fearful, people have been very anxious. You know, people that were upset because we had to close things down, and they said, well, I'm paying for this. How dare you close my facilities? And others who said, you're opening things up too fast. Why are you letting the golfers play? Why are you letting them do these kinds of things? And, you know, it has not felt for the last 15 months like there was anything that anybody liked or appreciated. And so to be called out for this is, it's very, very touching. I'm on the verge of a little emotional mess right here, but thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm glad that you're all safe and healthy. That's what it was all about.
We really appreciate you, and we had a lot more to say, but we had to cut it down. But Gwen did a beautiful job. Okay, Dottie Pritchett.
Well, it is my pleasure and honor to talk about someone who has helped us to stay connected during this COVID experience. Ann Peterson has promoted and supported the caring community in Rossmoor in her position as the Director of Communications and the Managing Editor of the Rossmoor News. Since the COVID-19 pandemic began, Ann has responded with new features, such as submissions of art, crafts, lots of puzzles, and photography, and increased letters to the editor. She included photographs and stories from the Diversity Consciousness Committee about comfort foods enjoyed by residents who came from different cultures. She responded to readers' concerns about the virus with articles from trusted sources of the state, the county, and the city resources. And together with her staff, she has been very creative in contributing for the benefit and safety of the Rossmoor residents in all departments, whether it's recreation, whether it's bus service, the pools, Tice Creek fitness, and other resources. And also, she continues to collaborate with Arlene Hollis and the Diversity Consciousness Committee to add photographs of people of color to the Rossmoor website, which further inspires inclusiveness in our community. In the March 3rd, 2021 Senior Living Guide, that was published by the Rossmoor News, there was a 24-page insert about retirement and home living, senior lifestyles, personal finance, security, health, and fitness. And 10 of the 11 color photographs on the cover of this insert depicted people from diverse cultures. And so we really appreciate all of Ann's work and the work of her staff, because they all reflect creating a caring community in our local media, which also helps to keep each one of us in Rossmoor connected to one another. So thank you, Ann.
Thank you, Dorothy. That was so kind.
It's funny, I came to Rossmoor almost 13 months exactly before the pandemic hit. And I like to say that God was looking out for me because he put me exactly where I needed to be in the middle of this pandemic. It was very, very difficult to have to pivot overnight to keep the newspaper going when we lost all of the events. And we could not have done that without my remarkable staff, a boss who you've already honored and really was incredibly supportive, but also the residents who live here. It was amazing to me when we would put out a call and ask for help, how many people really rose to the occasion. And you see that all the time, even now with the pictures that are in the paper, with the wonderful articles, as Dorothy mentioned, what you guys gave to us throughout this year was immeasurable. We could not have done it without you. So I appreciate that you're honoring my staff. I humbly accept it on behalf of all of us, but I have to say in return, thank you to all of you, because we could not have done this if you guys had not risen to the challenge and helped us through that. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Bob Howell and Kelly Berto. Are you unmuted? I think he's not unmuted. Can you unmute him, Will? I think he's talking and he thinks.
I can only ask him to unmute. Please unmute yourself there, Bob.
How about that? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good. Well, so it's a great sense of pleasure and gratitude that I nominate the rec department for this wonderful Caring Community Award. When the lockdown prevented our staff of the rec department from conducting their normal services, they came up with an amazing response that has helped further develop Rossmoor as a caring committee. So in the time permitted, I can only mention a few of these things. When the big lockdown was put in place, the staff created a YouTube channel called Recreation Live. This new connection to residents featured a wide range of classes, trivia games, shows, how-to videos, and an uplifting talk show called The Good News. Other creative offerings helped to provide a sense of connection among all of us while homebound. These included regular live shows from the event center, drive-in movies held in one of the large parking lots, and a Friday pickup meal program that regularly included 5 delicious meals at a reasonable price. And these were even placed in the trunk of our cars with a cheerful greeting by the staff, thereby maintaining weekly contact opportunities. New offerings in the Rossmoor News included craft opportunities and monthly contests. And these kept us stimulated and looking forward to the next edition. In the spirit of accomplishing a goal of the Interfaith Council to help our community better embrace diversity, Rec Department staff highlighted aspects of Rossmoor cultural treasures, including the new talk show, as well as in their classes and events that reflected diversity themes. Susie mentioned that the Council's Diversity Consciousness Committee has been meeting with the newly organized Rossmoor Advocates for Diversity to discuss operations or activities and opportunities for collaboration. And recently, Kelly Berto showed up with a proposal to have the GRF fund a Diversity Harmony Fair that's coming this October. This event has great promise for furthering Rossmoor as a caring community. Thank you very much, Kelly and the Rec Department, for all you do.
Kelly, are you here? Do you want to say anything? Where are you?
I'm here. Hi. I just want to say thank you so much on behalf of my staff for this honor. You know, I'm so proud of all of them. They all had to learn new technology, and they had to just become these gurus of making these videos and coming up with these creative ways to still stay connected to the residents. And they all did it with just enthusiasm and a willingness to just keep trying new things. Some things were challenging, but my staff never let up. So I'm very proud of them. And I know we're all excited to get back to being around all of you. We're a people business is what we do. We're just used to being around our residents, and we're getting so excited as we start looking to get back with all of you and be together again. So thank you so much. Some of my staff is on here on the Zoom right now. So I'm just really proud of them, and we appreciate this honor.
Thank you.
Mhm. There's one of them, Alina.
There's one of them. Great. We so appreciate you. Okay. We are going to move into the realm of embracing diversity and equity. And Mary Chapman is going to nominate Mary Taylor. Mary Chapman.
It is my honor to introduce to a few of you and reintroduce to some of you Mary Taylor. And once you meet Mary, you will certainly never forget her. Mary Taylor has helped to create a caring community in Rossmoor by sharing compassionate leadership. She has given talks, led programs, created initiatives, and championed the topic of diversity, person to person and in the public media. Mary has been part of the Diversity Consciousness Committee of the Interfaith Council of Rossmoor since 2016. She joined with Shirley Rodriguez to represent the African American and Friends Club at the initial gatherings of the committee to build relationships between members of various cultural clubs in Rossmoor. On November 21st, 2016, Mary spoke at the annual Harvest Festival on the topic, Thankful for Diversity, the threads that connect us. She spoke to similarities of people from diverse cultures. Mary helped to educate the community about some of the difficulties minorities have faced in living in Rossmoor. She facilitated the panel discussion at the committee-sponsored event on August 23rd, 2019, celebrating diversity in Rossmoor. 8 panel members told of personal experiences in our community. Reverend Will McGarvey, Executive Director of the Interfaith Council of Contra Costa County, spoke about the difference between the Golden Rule and the Platinum Rule. And Tim O'Keefe, Rossmoor GRF CEO, spoke about We Are One. Mary spoke before a GRF board meeting in 2019 to advocate greater inclusiveness in Rossmoor. In February 2020, at a celebration of Black History Month, sponsored by the Diversity Committee, she spoke about the 1619 Project, which re-examined the legacy of slavery in the United States. When the committee met outside at Hillside Sportsman Park in June of 2020, Mary contributed to the discussion of escalating police brutality against African Americans and systematic racism. Mary has focused positive energy and her desire to educate the community by founding the Black Lives Matter Committee of the African American and Friends Club. She has led demonstrations and organized Zoom calls to support not only African Americans, but also Asian, Pacific Islanders, and the LGBTQ communities. These are only a few examples of how Mary has raised awareness for racial and social justice in our community. She leads with her compassionate voice to build a more caring community in Rossmoor.
Thank you, Mary. And Mary, do you want to say a few words?
Yeah, so first of all, I want to thank Mary Fields Chapman for that history of my involvement here. But you know, I am so grateful for the recognition and for the work that's being done here. Albert Einstein said, "The world as we have created it is a process of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking." And I use the word gratitude a lot, and I am so grateful for the Rossmoor community, the willingness to explore and be open to examining the thinking and assumptions that has created our present, and to expand their thinking to imagine a more equitable and a safe future and community. So again, I just want to thank everybody for their continued support on this journey of diversity.
Thank you so much, Mary, for all you do. Ruth, do you want to honor Reverend Will?
Yes, I certainly do. When I think about building compassionate communities, the first person that comes to my mind is Will McGarvey. He's the executive director of the Interfaith Council of Contra Costa County, as you know, and has done many things, but think of all the things he does. He works to promote interfaith dialogue, to combat hateful speech and harmful actions, to stand up for social justice for all, for racial and gender equality, for all minorities, immigrants, poor people. He works to address homelessness, distressed youth, poverty, peacemaking, caring for the earth, comfort for the elderly and the ill, among many other things. Leadership is about gathering resources, supporting programs, building relationships, nurturing communities, and that's what Will has been able to do with the support and admiration and love of the Interfaith Council of Contra Costa County and the residents who have been involved with him. It's amazing what leadership can do when compassion and connection are the values, and the cause is to build a better world. Thank you, Will, for your work as a pastor, spiritual companion, a teacher, a brother, a friend, and guide in building caring communities in Contra Costa County.
Okay, thank you, Will. Thank you, Ruth, and thank you, Will, from all of us. You want to say a few words?
Wow, thank you. That means a lot. Thanks for the kind words, Ruth. And we have a lot of work to do still. A lot of work to do still. So we'll keep working.
Thank you, Will. Okay, we have Bridget Kirkpatrick all the way from Lake Tahoe, and going to tell us about one of our residents, Raphael Denzinger.
Yes.
Raphael, are you here?
Is he there?
I want to make sure he's here.
Okay.
Can you see Will?
I'm here.
Okay, good.
Oh,
wonderful.
Wonderful. Okay. Raphael Denziger has dedicated his professional life to studying Israel and the Middle East. He has several degrees in Middle East history and has taught this subject at University of Haifa, his hometown, as well as the University of Washington State. Almost 3 years ago, Raphael and his wife, Carla, moved to Rossmoor. Raphael became a member of the Jewish Education and Information Council of Rossmoor. He and Carla also became involved in promoting diversity in the community. Most recently, the couple participated in a rally to combat hate against Asians. On April 14th, 2021, Raphael's photo appeared on the Rossmoor News front page with a broad smile and a happy face. As a blood donor and plasma donor, Raphael gives a much needed life-saving part of himself every 28 days, and he's happy to do so. He donates to the American Red Cross at Pleasant Hill, California, and formerly in Washington, D.C. He is a Red Cross AB elite plasma donor. This special blood product is used in emergency situations and can be given to people of different blood types. We are fortunate and blessed to have Raphael and Carla as devoted residents in Contra Costa County. Their actions truly capture creating caring community.
Thank you, Bridget.
You're welcome.
Raphael, do you want to say anything?
Just very briefly, first of all, of course, I want to thank Bridget for nominating me. It's a great honor for me. And also to express how much Carla and I enjoy living in Rossmoor since August of 2018. It's an amazing community. I've never lived in such a community before. And one other thing I would like to say is that one of the things that impressed me most about the place, beyond the quality of the people here, is simply the quality of the maintenance. I really cannot believe that a place so big as Rossmoor can be kept in such wonderful shape. Even during COVID, the people came every day, did their job, and I feel we are blessed to live in such a wonderful place.
There you go again, Tim. Another accolade. Okay, now we're going to kind of switch categories, and it's going to be Bridget again, and it's going to be for those who've nurtured and fed the hungry. Food has played a big role, I think, during this year.
Mm-hmm.
And Bridget, I'll let you go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to nominate Alice Zhang and Teresa Chang for the Creating Caring Community Award. Alice Zhang was born in Shanghai. She studied transportation management in college there and came to America in 2005 and then worked for a fashion clothing company. She is an American citizen now. Currently a Rossmoor resident, she enjoys participating in many of the clubs. Teresa Chang was born in China and grew up in Taiwan. She came to Seattle, Washington in 1961, and in 1971, she moved to California. She worked full-time and attended night school. She received an accounting degree from San Francisco State University. Teresa married James Lee in 1991. James brought 3 children to the marriage, and they enjoy 3 grandchildren. Alice's gourmet food group started in 2020 when COVID-19 restrictions on gatherings and travel were set. Teresa and Alice began to regularly order foods and meals from restaurants. The menus from the restaurants would focus on Asian food preferences and were shared through a special computer app or by email. The meals and food were delivered to Rossmoor and distributed to the more than 42 participants. They also provided a shopping service. Alice and Teresa's focus has always been on helping friends and neighbors. As the months of 2020 passed, the team began to collect donations and expand their outreach to include the Trinity Center of Walnut Creek, as well as donating funds to the food bank of Contra Costa, Solano County. They wanted to, quote, help less fortunate people, end quote. Along the way, they have made new friends and truly show ways of creating caring community.
Thank you, Bridget.
You're welcome.
Alice, Teresa, do you want to say anything?
Well, I'm happy I can help, especially during the COVID. And so we could help the restaurant, also we can help the resident. So we are really happy we could do that. Thank you.
Now everybody's going to want to join and be part of it. I know.
But unfortunately, we only have Chinese menu.
It's okay. It sounds wonderful, just wonderful. Teresa, did you want to say anything?
No, That's it. So
That's it. Okay. Thank you so much, though, for Teresa for commenting. Okay. Meg Keeley for Marilyn and Mark Weiss.
I am truly honored to introduce Dr. Mark and Marilyn Weiss, who are devoted to their large family of 5 adult children and 4 grandchildren. They have long been passionate about helping others. Mark and Marilyn have been residents of Rossmoor for about 9 years, and Marilyn has served most of those years on the Walnut Creek Design Review Commission. In spite of being frightened and helpless feeling helpless by the COVID-19 pandemic, they turned it into a perfect opportunity to devote their time and energy to serve others' needs. Spurred by a Facebook post about the dire needs of the Monument Crisis Center of Concord, Mark and Marilyn found their focus. The dynamic couple reached out for donations from friends and the Rossmoor community residents. Their efforts were rewarded with carloads of food and many thousands of dollars in cash. The responses were incredible. Cash donations were more than $100,000, and 40 SUV carloads full of groceries brought the total donation to about $140,000. This initiative provided the Monument Crisis Center with 3 times their usual capacity to serve the community. Mark and Marilyn extended their love and caring for family to include the lives of all who benefited at the Monument Crisis Center. By joining with friends and neighbors, through their efforts, they have lived the life of inclusion, seeing everyone as family. Marilyn states, "We hope our efforts will encourage others to do the same." I can say from experience that the joyful, exuberant invitation that my husband and I received, as well as so many others in the community, from Mark and Marilyn to be a part of this important work, blessed us all and truly included us in reaching out to the community and becoming our brother's keepers.
Wonderful. Mark and Marilyn, are you here? Did you want to say anything?
Well, I don't know who you're talking about, but where there's a need, there's a way to take and fill the need. And everybody that that has the board of directors of Rossmoor, the newspaper, the Rossmoor News, have all been so supportive. Without Anne, the articles that I wrote in the newspaper, or we wrote in the newspaper, would not have been posted. And the important thing is that this is not just a Mark and Marilyn deal. This is a Rossmoor community deal. You all did so very well. And we found places that I didn't even know existed in this community, searching for addresses that were far in between. It was just amazing. But we found them all, and we're able to fulfill our own heart's need because we saw so many people hurting. So thank you.
Thank you.
One of the things that Mark just said, which I think was kind of fun and interesting for us, is that at the time that the shutdown hit, I think everyone would agree that we were all really very, very petrified. We were very frightened individually, and didn't quite know what we could do and what we couldn't that would be safe. And so when we decided that we had to do something to help fill the need for food for people who lost their job in a minute and suddenly didn't have anything to buy groceries or pay their rent or that sort of thing, we decided together to turn to our friends and people we didn't know in Rossmoor and sent out emails and phone calls and asked one group to ask another group, and turned out that everyone was very responsive. And when we went out, we would go out during certain hours with gloves and masks and looking for addresses, and just said, please just put your donation on your front step or your dollars in an envelope and put it on your front door, and we'll come get it. We don't need to see you. We don't need to scare anybody. We don't need to interconnect. And everyone just came forward and we all sort of said, well, clean your pantry. Nobody needs, 6 boxes of rice. There must be something in there you'd like to give away. And so it really did help feed lots and lots of people. And we also understand at the time we did it, that the supply connection really dried up for the Monument Crisis Center. There were very difficult times. They couldn't really order like they used to order. So that helped a lot. I can also say that I think it's important, you know, that Mark and I have always lived a life. We've been married 53 years. We have 5 kids, 4 grandkids. 3 of our kids are clergy, and we're very dedicated to doing what we can to be involved in our community and to see a need and go for it, and whatever it is. And I think that's what I'd like to say to people. If you see something and you think, you dream that maybe you could do it, and you say, no, I don't know if I can, you should push forward and do it. And I think we're talking about, you know, food problems and food insecurity, but we're also talking about equity and diversity in this community. And I think it's critically important that everybody continue to move forward with that. I know that Mary Taylor and I both have applied to the new Walnut Creek Diversity Task Force, which has not been announced or set, and we're very committed to being involved with a solution and helping with the problem. But Meg, the way you said it today was the most beautiful way I've heard it, and thank you so much.
So very much.
It was
Meg.
so sweet, and I think we're very proud of what was able to be done. So
thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna Cantor Amy Daniels is going to introduce Cindy Gershon. Amy, are you here? There you
on
are.
behalf of, I'm sorry.
Is
Am I
Cindy,
okay?
yeah, is Cindy here? Cindy Gershon?
I don't see her name, but she might be here under another name. But I don't see her name in our participants list.
Listening in and come on at the last minute. Let's see.
We can wait if you need.
Do you want me to go first, Amy? So in case she comes, is she coming?
Okay. She said she was coming. I told her it was 2 o'clock. So.
Okay. I'm gonna. So Cindy Gershon, who is an innovator, an incredible creator of programs, is also a board member on the White Pony Express. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And I think there are many volunteers in Rossmoor who are part of White Pony Express. It was founded by Dr. Carol Weiland Connor in 2013, who conceived of it as a model to help eliminate hunger and poverty by delivering the abundance all around us to our neighbors in great need. White Pony Express rescues high quality surplus food from supermarkets, restaurants, and farmers markets. They deliver nutritious food free to organizations that feed hungry people. They also rescue and give away high quality clothing, children's toys, and books. The goal at White Pony Express is to uplift lives. The idea is that if one of us moves forward, everyone moves forward. White Pony Express works to bring people who are living on the margins into the mainstream. One of the major goals is to create opportunities for selfless service, and hundreds of volunteers make White Pony Express possible. Gloria Sunshine is one of them. They volunteer because they believe in the mission and they know they are helping others who have urgent needs at this critical time in their lives. So Eve, do you want to, where are you, Eve?
I'm right here, Susie.
Okay, you want to say?
All right. I would be delighted to. And I feel like Marilyn actually said everything that I wanted to say. And so I appreciate that, Marilyn. I had the same experience at White Pony Express. Susie, you did a lovely job providing an overview about the work at White Pony. And of course, when the pandemic hit, we found ourselves at an important moment for the organization, because our mission, as you know, is to deliver the abundance to people who are in great need. And that need was skyrocketing before our eyes. And also the isolation, the loneliness, the need was more than food. And that's really what White Pony Express is about, is using food. And then we also provide very high quality clothing as vehicles for sharing love and support. And so we mobilized. We have not shuttered one day since the pandemic. As a matter of fact, we got very creative. We found more sources of food, more sources of clothing. We were able to take 30 agencies who were on our wait list and put them on our schedule. And since the early days of COVID, we've been able to deliver about nearly three times as much food. And we're also very actively providing the community with clothing. So as people have said, this is our whole mission, work, and motto is all of us taking care of all of us. We are one human family. And the way that we move forward is by moving forward as one, as together, taking care of each other. And so I've been so touched by people's comments, and please consider us your sister in the work that we're all doing to uplift lives and bring love to many people who can use it at this time. So thank you very much for having me.
Eve, how many pounds of food is it a day now that White Pony Express delivers?
Well, just the other day it was 43,000, but the average is less than that. The average is about 14,000 pounds of food every day. And today we had this marvelous boutique in Martinez for new Black moms and their babies and their kids. And so right now our whole team is in Martinez providing them with food, and the women with the most beautiful makeup and scarves and hand sewn masks and outfits in their sizes. So it's a lucky work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amy, do you want to wait to see if Cindy comes, or what would be your preference? We could move on, and then you could call her or something to see, you know. You want to do that? You're muted. Amy,
Yeah.
you're
Sorry, I did just reach out to her. I resent the link and I texted her.
okay.
So,
Should we wait a little bit and go on?
or get back to me. Thank you.
I'll get back to you. Okay, let me remember. Okay, so loving thy neighbor, our next category, which I think pretty much everything has covered that. And I don't know if, so Sandra Norgren, I don't know if Dr. Tina Adraki is here.
Here. I saw her.
Oh, good. Yay. Thank you, Sandra. Yay.
So it is with great pleasure and an honor that I nominate Tina Adraki for the Caring Community Award for exemplifying what it means to love thy neighbor. I met Tina when my dear friend Leela McCullough introduced me to her at the Big Questions Forum in Rossmoor. Soon after, I was invited to attend the weekly Friday night gatherings at Tina's home. I remember vividly walking into her house and being embraced with her loving kindness and care, as is everyone who attends. The kind and joyous atmosphere she creates affects all present, making it quite easy to get to know everyone and participate in the discussion groups that follow this brief period of socialization. Throughout the pandemic, these Friday night gatherings have been held on Zoom, where Tina's spiritually uplifting and enlightening participatory programs continue in a safe, non-critical, and loving atmosphere. In relation to race inequities, in 2018, she invited neighbors, friends, and acquaintances from varied backgrounds to share their thoughts and life experiences to find solutions to race inequities in our country. The foundation for the group is Finding Spiritual Solutions. Tina is exuberantly passionate about building communities of compassion and acceptance. As a wife, mother, physician, friend, community leader, and person of faith, all her waking moments are devoted to love and healing. With tireless energy, Tina has for years been organizing multiple activities to build on the goodness of people working together to build a better world. She has organized children's classes and provided youth and young teens with an ongoing program of study and actions for non-sectarian social projects in their own community. Values of trust, kindness, honesty, and friendliness are taught, discussed, and acted upon by the young members who grow in friendship and understanding through the process. For adults, she is a leader in bringing many communities together to set short and long-term goals and work plans to move forward toward the unity and oneness of all humanity. It is an honor to know her and benefit from her devotion and to be inspired by her selfless, tireless example of service.
Dr. Tina?
Thank you. Thank you, Sandra, for that. That was beautiful. You're way too kind. It's truly an honor. Thank you to the Rossmoor Interfaith community for considering me. I'm really, really grateful. And I want to acknowledge all the other honorees who I believe are doing exceptional work in this purpose that we consider is to carry forward an ever advancing civilization. So thank you so much. I just wanted to say that I do this because I'm a Baha'i, and I know I've spoke at the Interfaith Big Questions before, and I believe, as Eve said, in this inherent oneness of humanity, that each and every individual is a member of one human family, and that each person has a contribution to make in the life of society. And we're seeing it right here with all these beautiful people that are gathered together. I wanted to just make a short comment. People who know me know that if I have 1 minute, I will talk about my faith. And I do want to let people know that I'm just part of this global spiritual enterprise that Baha'is everywhere in the world, wherever they live, they're engaged in efforts to apply Baha'u'llah's teachings to the material and spiritual progress of their communities. And in a mode with this orientation on learning, the Baha'is strive to contribute to this process of community building, in which acts of worship and service are kind of woven together. So everyone willing to participate in this process is welcome, to join. Its purpose is really to help raise the capacity of more and more people to take charge of their own spiritual, social, intellectual development, so that they can come to see themselves as active agents of change in both their own progress themselves and their community's progress, rather than being like passive spectators of events that are beyond their control. So thank you so much. I truly appreciate it.
So much. I'm so glad you could come on a busy day when you had patients.
Thank you.
It's like, how can we do this? How can we do everything at once? Thank you so much for coming. Reverend Channing Miller, introducing Terry Moss. Is Terry here? I know Reverend Channing is here.
I saw Terry.
Terry, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Hey.
Hello, Terry.
Hello, Channing.
Hello. I just want to say it is my great pleasure to congratulate the Interfaith Council of Contra Costa County, better known as I4C, who is devoted to the guiding principles of caring, diversity, and compassion in helping to build a more caring community. I have nominated and I honor Terry Moss, Vice President of I4C, who was thinking last summer of ways for the council to contribute to the needs of people in the county. Terry initiated a unique and creative program called iCare, which stands for Interfaith Community Action Revitalization, with opportunities for members of all faith traditions, spiritual expressions, and indigenous traditions in the county to learn about one another, promote interfaith peace, and work together to serve and benefit our community. Greg Kremenliov from I4C joined Terry's group to help with the operations. Greg has been on this operations team that has grown iCare since August 2020, providing resources such as food, shelter, supplies, and other forms of support with great success. Many projects with partnering congregations have contributed over 1,000 hygiene kits, breakfast bags, and engagement throughout the shelter in place. Many congregations who never knew each other have worked together on these projects, building interfaith bridges and understanding. iCare is in full swing and will be contributing to Contra Costa County throughout 2021 and into the future. We want to thank and honor you, Terry, for your brilliant service to Interfaith County, Interfaith and the Contra Costa County.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Cheng. Terry, do you want to say a few words?
Just a few. Thank you so much, Channing, and everybody. It's really an honor, and I'm touched. I feel like this was an inspired idea. I just happened to be the person that got it, and of matching different faith traditions to allow them to work together in an area in the area of service to others, which is something that all faith traditions share. And as you know, Susie, it started with our pilot project with Sufism Reoriented and LOPC, working to put together hygiene kits for the county and for people without homes. And doing that in the height and the middle of a pandemic, why not? So it turned out to really energize people and to allow people to get together and in safe ways and contribute in whatever way they could, including some people who just wanted to write notes of compassion and encouragement. And I would also like to honor Kate Boisvert. May she rest in peace, and may her memory be a blessing, because she was part of that first pilot team to come up with all of the organization. How do you do something that's never been done before? So I like to think of iCare as a practical spirituality, and where it allows us to express our spiritual vision in a form that is tangible to help those in need. And I'm grateful to Greg and to other to other volunteers who have helped support and finance these service opportunities, and hope that you will take a look at what we're planning for the future. Every month we do at least one project, and if you go to our Sign Up Genius link from the I4C Interfaith ccc.org, you'll see all of our projects that are coming up. So thank you all for this honor.
Thank you, Terry. I have to say, and Lowell's here today because she helped organize it. It was one of the most joyful projects I've ever worked on. It was so much. But we can't neglect to say about the 105-degree heat or whatever when we were and how we would wear masks and stand 6 feet apart from each other. Okay, so Gloria, I've been looking forward to this one. Shirley Rodriguez.
I have the privilege of really taking this down to a very personal level of love thy neighbor. Because although Shirley is a very proficient and giant of a person, what affected me is that she's my neighbor, not next door, but in the next entry. I can see her stairs from my window. And I nominate her for this Sister Brotherhood event because of the sisterhood she showed during the months of COVID. She came up with the idea of a weekly bingo with prizes for entries 21, 22, 23, because we can all see the same driveway and we surround it the way we're arranged. It may seem like a little thing, but it was something we looked forward to last summer when we were in the thick of things. We could join from our windows or our balconies, or bring a chair with our mask on, sitting 6 feet apart, while Shirley ran around with the bullhorn, with her cheerful voice and her powerful spirit, walking up and down entry 23's driveway, calling out numbers while someone rolled the cage. She supplied the bingo cards, even covered in plastic with a wipe away marker that we could keep and use from week to week, and we'd all donate prizes. It was such a treat. And we all took our own libations. We all just had a chance to connect. Many of us never went out or spoke to anyone other than phone or Zoom. It was an amazing grace. Shirley has done much with her life. She is a giant of a person, as I said before, having over 20 occupations in 50 years in this workaday world. From Air Force medic to San Francisco police officer to executive administration assistant to top city planners and commissions of San Francisco. She came to Rossmoor 14 years ago and with another friend started the African American and Friends Club. It had over 200 members, a forerunning example of diversity. Younger members desired a political segment, and Black Lives Matter came in under that umbrella with another of our nominees who has already spoken, Mary Taylor. Mary Taylor, as we said, is now also vice president of the African American and Friends Club. But I'm nominating Shirley the neighbor, the community builder within her Rossmoor neighborhood, the zookeeper of her whimsical animal zoo, around her entry's laundry room that grandchildren visit and delight in. I'm nominating Shirley, who creates the concerts on the lawn that gives the street musicians who had no income some sustenance and her neighbors a chance to enjoy and contribute. The Shirley who stages the shortest New Year's Eve party at 7 p.m. on New Year's Eve with a toast and Old Lang Syne for any and all who want to join. And the Shirley who gave her art away during COVID in the form of beautiful greeting cards. She also does watercolor and magic. As for the life of Shirley, it fills a book. Yes, she did write one. The Devil is Beating His Wife, and self-published it and has it for sale for $12, with proceeds going to her favorite charity, Students Rising Above. It's even tax deductible. She is a mother of 2 boys, and for any more, I suggest you read the book. I am.
Oh my gosh. When I heard that, I'm like, I want to be Shirley's neighbor. No, I want to. Okay, Shirley, can you say a few words?
Yes.
How do you do it?
I am muted, am I not?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Sunshine. I call her Sunshine. I know everybody else seems to call her Gloria. Thank you so much for nominating me. And I can't tell you how proud I am to listen to this program and what so many other people have been doing, which were not as selfish as mine. I consider mine selfish because I love playing games. Before the pandemic, I was involved in probably 6 games, table games a week, and I missed everybody. And that was the idea for the bingo. I got to see my neighbors, and that was the only thing I could think of that we could do. And I just love living here. I love my neighbors, and I love the wonderful friends I've met here in these 14 years. This is the happiest time of my life. Thank you all.
You make so many people happy. Thank you so much. Okay, Cantor Amy, is Cindy Gershon here? Is she here?
No, but let me go ahead. Let me go ahead. Okay. So I am also relatively new to Rossmoor. It's about 2.5 years, but I'm so proud and honored to have had the opportunity to get to know Cindy Gershon through a recent food drive that we held in Rossmoor, sponsored by National Council of Jewish Women and B'nai Israel of Rossmoor, to support the students and families in the Mount Diablo Unified School District. Cindy Gershon is well known in the Contra Costa food world as the owner of Sunrise Bistro, a restaurant and catering business in Walnut Creek. She has also been a longtime culinary crusader for healthier food options in the county's schools. She created and runs an award-winning sustainable hospitality program at Mount Diablo High School, teaching students how to prepare for a career in the healthy food industry. Many of her graduates go on to further their studies at Diablo Valley College and UC Davis. As you heard, she also serves on the board of the Pleasant Hill-based food rescue group, White Pony Express. Now, Mount Diablo is a Title I high school, so it's a federal aid program that supports students from high poverty or underserved communities, in this case, Bay Point and Pittsburgh. As the COVID pandemic went on and with school closed and no active free lunch program, there was a scramble to get food donations for families. Cindy was dismayed to see the poor quality of foods that were available, and she knew something had to be done. She decided to ask for donations of healthy ingredients and start cooking for the students who were learning at home. You know, as a teacher on Zoom, you have a window into your students' lives. And it's one thing, I think of myself when you're shopping and thinking, what do you buy to give to the food bank? And then to realize that those very families may have no cooking facilities because they live in a place, if they have shelter, with no cooking facilities. Through her good friend at Rossmoor, Sherry Rowan, the National Council of Jewish Women took on the project to hold an ongoing food drive. So we put a collection bin at our Gateway Clubhouse and advertised for monetary donations. B'nai Israel joined on as a partner in the project. For over 6 months, healthy food donations were delivered weekly, and over $9,000 was raised to help buy fresh chicken, eggs, and dairy products. Cindy had a chef friend, along with her students and former students, cooking meals every week for distribution to about 150 families. And then we had a really fun project where Cindy raised more money by having her students make Jewish holiday food to sell to Rossmoor residents. And we called it a Passover Sampler with macaroons, horseradish, 2 kinds of kugel, and all that money raised went right back into the program. So actually at our Passover Seders every year, we begin the meal by saying, let all who are hungry come in and eat. Anyone in need needs to be able to eat. So we thank Cindy for giving us this opportunity to do just that, to make sure that hungry people were getting the food and the nutritious foods that they needed. Now, Cindy is her brain never stops. And I want you to watch out. Next year, her students would like to give back to Rossmoor residents. And she has an idea that they might be making videos about healthy eating that would air on our Rossmoor Channel 28. So that's the next step in the line. But again, it's on behalf of Irene Friedman and myself, we are proud to honor Cindy Gershon.
Totally. Thank you, Cantor Amy. That's wonderful. She really is a legend. So our last nominee is a favorite. Dick Bailey is going to nominate Dick Powell. And I read his emails every single day, and I'm totally inspired by it. Dick Bailey?
Yes.
And Dick Powell, are you here?
I don't believe he is.
Okay, this is like the 2 people. Okay, but I want you to read it anyway.
Absolutely. Dick Powell is simply one of the most cherished and beloved members of our Rossmoor community. For years, he opened his home every single day to all comers who wished to start their day meditating silently, guided by his gentle hand. Every morning, the welcome mat was out. During the pandemic, Dick provided this opportunity via Zoom. Also during the pandemic, Dick has kept the Rossmoor Cycling Club going, leading group bike rides twice a week on his bicycle built for 2 with partner in crime, Jane Brown. While isolation has been profound, club members credit Dick with nothing short of helping them preserve their sanity. I first encountered Dick Powell when I went to a memorial service at Stanley Dollar, honoring Barbara Leonard, a resident from our entry who had passed on. Dick officiated at that service and did a beautiful job. in both English and French. Then there was the time when I went over to Dick's Manor just to ask his advice about what kind of bike to buy, and came away with a bike he gave me for free. If you sign up on the email list of the Mindful Living Club at mindfullivingclub.org, every day without fail you receive in your inbox an inspirational quote, a precious gift to ponder as your day unfolds. And each one ends with Dick Powell's philosophy of life. Kindness is the way. We are here to help, not to harm. We are here to love, not to hate. We are here to nurture, not to destroy. Wherever I am, whatever work I do, I will find a way to make the world a better place. Well, Mr. Powell, wherever you are, whatever work you do, you invariably find a way to make the world a better place. We salute you.
I think he's probably out helping someone. Because he said he was so happy to be able to come, but he's never, he studied with Thich Han in France, and he's, I sometimes come over and sat in on his meditations. Many people do, and it's not just people in Rossmoor, people outside of Rossmoor come. And they have, it's amazing. So Will, I would say at this point, we have been nurtured and just filled with all the love that people have given. I would say that we've learned that there is no bad idea when it comes to creating community, and could we all be as brave and courageous, just creative and wild and just do it, and that's what I've learned today. And I'm just inspired by everyone. And I would say that not to go into discussion group. There's so few minutes left. What do other people think? And Will, I would rather you say a prayer of benediction, and I would just like to hold all these people in my heart, because I'm so touched and incredibly honored to be a part of this council, but also just to be to hear about the way they live their lives and all that they've given. And maybe if you say a prayer, Dwight's still here and he'd play while we're leaving. Would you, Dwight?
That'd be perfect.
Okay.
Okay. Well, why don't we turn into gallery view so that you can see everyone around you? And then put your hands like this towards the end of your screen, as if you're holding hands with someone above or below or to your side. It's kind of the Brady Bunch that we're getting used to here, aren't we? And you can wiggle them, and in sign language, this is a way of clapping. And let's thank each other for this time that we've had together. And with the freedom of the children of God, dance like nobody's watching. Woo! Love like you'll never get hurt. Work like you don't need the money. Shop with an eye for the needy. Sing like only God is listening. And live like it's heaven on earth, touching those around you, even on Zoom, with the love of the Almighty Divine, however you describe them. Go and live out what it means to be their perfect follower, sharing that love, caring, kindness, and compassion with all that you come in touch with, electronically or in person. Amen.
Amen.
Lead us on, Dwight.
Dwight.
I'm unmuting. Thank you, Will. Yes, amen to that. Okay, this is a very peaceful song. Well,
and you can feel free to leave and say goodbye, but just thank you all so much.
Thank you all.
All the nominators.
Very much enjoyed this.
All the Thank you. I want to say a word that Ann Bailey, Reverend Ann Bailey, who worked, was pastor of the Episcopal Church for so long in Rossmoor, joined us from San Diego, and she has a whole program doing it on Zoom remotely for people with dementia. And so if anybody wants to know how to get in touch with her, you can ask me. And I'm very grateful to Gloria Sunshine for reminding me while we were doing it that we are not the doers. Dwight, do you want?
Let's all unmute to say goodbye.
Okay, let's do it. Everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Peace, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you, Dwight. Thank you, Dwight.
Have a great week.
Bye. Inspiring time.